Well, if you're watching this, congratulations, you've made it to 2021. Oh god, 2020 was an awful fucking year. We had to deal with that coronavirus pandemic and all the dumbasses that came alongside it. Poor Australia was on fire a lot. Hell, it seemed like a lot of places were on fire. Cops continued to get away with blatant murder. And certain politicians decided to show more than ever how they were for the people by continuing deciding to screw over the people and say shit like, get back to work in the middle of a pandemic, or you're not getting that stimulus check. You're going to get this much smaller one that will barely help you. President Trump almost gladly started World War III this year, not to mention all the COVID denying and saying that it's not going to be a big problem, and then it ended up being a big problem, and he still tried to downplay it. And sadly, Bernie Sanders did not become the president. Instead, we're stuck with another liberal Democrat that sure isn't going to fuck up as badly as Trump, but isn't going to do much in the way of anything really that good. And I had to deal with my fair share of assholes this year. Aside from the many Republican fucks, I also had to deal with Antunes fucking up again and again and again and again and again. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Although, to be fair, most of the drama I've dealt with this year tended to be mostly fucking hilarious, but there was a piece of drama this year that was just fucking obnoxious. But to be fair, I've made some very good videos this year that have gotten the viewership I've been wanting for a while. And, you know, it's been kind of great seeing the views go up consistently enough. In fact, this year has been the best year for my YouTube career at all, because not only did I get to 1,000 subscribers, but technically I'm making money off of this program. Not a lot, mind you, but considering I started off the year thinking I would never get to that point, I don't know what will happen next year. Maybe I'll be able to consistently get money off YouTube in this year. Anything could happen. I might even become powerful enough to fight God himself. I do wonder, what will 2021 bring? Probably more stupid shit, and hell, it might even be worse of a year, but let's be optimistic for a bit and hope that it won't be as bad as this year. I mean, that COVID thing is coming, that COVID vaccine is coming. Whether it has adverse side effects, well, we'll find out soon enough. Man, I can't wait to find out who's been spreading around those fucking monoliths this year. Hopefully it's aliens, and not just some pretentious douchebag with a Netflix show coming up. Speaking of movies, chances are the only movie you saw in theaters this year was Sonic the Hedgehog. Everything else got delayed to 2021 or got dumped on streaming services, which may be the future of all movies being released, because theaters are certainly not doing the best right now because of the whole pandemic, and even before that they weren't doing great. And that's kind of a shame, because theaters are the one place in public I actually like going to, because people there are forced to shut the fuck up and watch the movie quietly or get kicked the fuck out. Although, to be fair, watching movies from home and paying less does seem like a better option. Speaking of properties owned by major assholes, hey look, it's J.K. Rowling! Not only has she become a worse writer, but she's also become a worse person, and getting all pissed off because people decided to call her out on her transphobic bullshit. And then she went on tirade after tirade about how cancel culture is silencing me. Now let me continue to speak on this major platform right here and show everyone that I'm actually not being silenced at all. Remember that whole cuties nonsense? God fucking damn it. You got one side going like, yeah, this is pretty fucked up. And then you had another side going like, oh, actually, maybe it's artistic. Then you had another side going like, this is all secret pedophilia or corruption thingy, whatever the fuck. And this proves that the lefties are evil. And I think the only reason all this nonsense started is because Netflix decided to advertise it in the worst fucking way possible. Hey, remember Murder Hornets and how everyone was like, oh, god damn it, we're already dealing with the COVID shit. We don't need fucking murder hornets. But luckily everyone was inside, so the murder hornets weren't really that much of a problem to begin with, so nothing really happened outside of that. You know, that came into nothing. Maybe 2021 will, you know, pick up back that murder hornet plot. A new PlayStation and a new Xbox came out, leaving me to ask the question, hey, where's all the games? Is there any interesting games other than Spider-Man on the PS5? No, not really. There's nothing interesting on these consoles? Oh, okay. This year, a big question was also answered. What would stop Marvel from releasing a movie every goddamn year? Well, it turns out all it took was a pandemic. Now I'll never know what happens to Black Widow. I wonder if she'll die in the movie. And man, how fucked up would that be if Black Widow just died? Miraculously, thanks to a massive leak of Nintendo shit, Luigi came back. The Luigi became real. Speaking of Nintendo this year decided to say, you know, fans, you've been great, but, fuck you. A big game with a big actor, Cyberpunk 2077, with Keanu Reeves was gonna come out this year. I mean, it did come out this year. It just didn't want to, though. You'd think with all those delays, the game would come out in perfect condition, but you'd be wrong. And you'd also think with all those delays, the amount of crunch would be small, but nope. And heaven forbid if you got it on console. If you did, you got the worst version of it. I feel extremely sorry for any console player that had a friend with that's super into PC gaming, because chances are you never heard the end of that one. Speaking of video games, remember The Last of Us Part 2? What's that? It was a really boring experience and you barely remember any of it? You probably thought, yeah, it plays well, but the story's kind of shit. Then you hear all the lovely business practices that went on, and you kind of die inside because you're like, yeah, most AAA games are made like this. And, God, fuck! That game totally deserved to win Game of the Year. God, I hate the gaming industry sometimes. Chances are this year you were acting mighty suspect. For you see, I'm saying you're suspect because it is a reference to the popular video game sensation known as Among Us on the tablets and on the computers as well. It's also on the Nintendo Switch. Or maybe you were playing Fall Guys for the 3 months where that was a popular thing. Chances are you've heard of Dream this year, whether you wanted to or not. All I know about him is apparently he faked all his speedrunning, and for some reason his fans were super excited for his fucking cereal choice. I wish I had a picture of that. Oh, and how could we forget Unis and Anus, starring Markiplier and, who's that other guy? I don't know who the fuck he is. I'm just gonna call him, Markiplier Jr. Yeah, there we go. Also, shout out to the TF2 fans that had to deal with all the bullshit bots this year. Imagine trying to escape from all the bullshit that's going on in the world. You decide to play TF2 and yeah, Valve won't fix their shit. Thank you, Valve. Everyone that owned a Switch this year played at least a little bit of Animal Crossing. It's rather do that or die of boredom. Hey, remember when President Donald Trump got COVID and we were really hoping something bad would happen to him? And then it didn't, and then we all remembered, oh yeah, he has a lot of money. Sure, it made him look like a fucking idiot, but chances are, if you were already sucking on his toes, you weren't gonna stop now. Let me make the mood more positive. Scotland decided a product that's necessary to women should not be at a cost. And, you know, maybe a lot of other good things happen, but I can't be bothered to remember it right now. Everyone's got to remember this is a bad year due to all the bullshit that happened. I hope people realize and continue to remember the fact that most of those bad things could have easily have been avoided if competent people were in charge. COVID would have been much less of a problem in America if this motherfucker actually did something. All of those fires could have easily been avoided if we've been listening to scientists for years now. People like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor would have still been alive if we've done something about our corrupt police force. A lot of the bad things that happened in 2020 only occurred because of bad things that happened in prior years. So remember, through 2021, to not forget what happened in 2020. Do not let history end up repeating itself. Learn from these mistakes. Remember, politics are not that boring thing that have no effect on the world. They pretty much do, and this year has proved that more than ever that you need to vote. Doing nothing has shown to us that things can only get worse. And let's end this off with a positive note. Let's try to work together to make 2021 a much better year. And thank you all for subscribing in 2020. You've made that year a little less sucky with what was all going on. And I hope I've made your time a little bit better as well. And with that done, Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm Deviant Crow, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching the video, and if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out these links. If you want to tip me, you could go check out my Ko-Fi. If you want to vote for the next video, go to my Twitter. If you want to get some merch with my face on it, go to my merch store. And if you want to get to watch videos early while supporting the channel, go check out my Patreon. Also, the artist that made the OCs in this video is not me. It is Benny Bunny, so go check him out on Twitter. Also, feel free to come down to my Discord with the link down below. New videos are uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And don't forget to love yourself.